I just thought it was time to do a little update on my very sick life because it's been a while. And yeah, I'm updating y'all from a hospital room. Was new. So I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I can, but we gotta backtrack it a little bit. Last month on my birthday, aka December 22nd, I woke up very, very sick and ended up in the hospital because my Portacath, the thing I had right here, it got infected, and the infection went into my blood and made me very, very sick. So on Christmas Eve, I had to have surgery to have the Portacath removed, and they decided that I had to be awake during the surgery. Why? I don't know. Because I've had that surgery before, because the same thing happened before when it got infected and they had to take it out, but they put me to sleep. This time they didn't, so on Christmas Eve, I was there awake, being cut into my chest, and it was brutal. It was not a fun Christmas, it was not a fun birthday. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. And not only did I have to be awake during one surgery, I had to be awake during two surgeries because my feeding tube had to be replaced, and they kept me awake for that. And that one was worse than the chest one because it smelled. If you think puke stinks, imagine having your stomach cut open and smelling all the gastric juices. Not fun. It's disgusting. I made them put a mask on me. Just don't do it. So anyways, the whole reason I had a Portacath was because it's like impossible to get a regular IV on me. I have to get either a PICC line, a midline, or a central line in my neck or in my arm. So they had to put a PICC line in right here, which it's like a regular IV, but instead of going into a regular vein, it goes to a main artery. So instead of only being like this long, it's literally like a foot long. So they put my PICC line in and sent me home on New Year's Eve. And they put the PICC line in and sent me home with IV antibiotics. It was either stay in the hospital for another 2 weeks doing the IV antibiotics or just get a PICC line put in and do them at home. And that's what I decided to do. So I'm on the IV antibiotics 24/7 for as long as I'm supposed to be, and things were supposed to be all Gucci then. But I get sick all over again. I go to the emergency room because I thought it was just a regular, gastroparesis flare up because I was just puking like crazy. And they sent me home because I wasn't in DKAs. So they just gave me some nausea and pain medicine and sent me home. But I just kept throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. So that was a Friday. On Sunday, 2 days later, my roommate left to go to work, and I was okay. I mean, I was really sick throwing up, but I wasn't like
on my deathbed yet.
But things changed when she got home from work. She said when she got off work that I was laying in the bed, topless, just staring at the ceiling, and she was like, Cassidy, and I just wasn't responsive. They were asking me questions like who was my mom and stuff, and I didn't know. The only person that I knew was Aiden, and thank God that it was his dad's weekend and that he wasn't there to see any of this, because it would have scared the shit out of him. It was scary to everyone else. My mom was scared, she was scared, the EMTs were scared. Like, I don't know, I don't remember any of it, but it does sound really scary, and I'm just so thankful that Aiden did not have to witness any of it. But like I said, I didn't know anything. I thought we were on a boat, which I've never been on a boat, so that's weird. I thought my name was Jessica, which that's random. Like, I don't even talk to any Jessicas, but that was my name apparently. I didn't know colors. I knew nothing. So the ambulance came and they let my roommate ride in there, and she said that they got me to the hospital within like 5 minutes. They were making traffic split. They had the lights and sirens on, and we got there super fast. And usually in the emergency room, I'm like really cooperative. I cannot say that word today. But that day she said I was like fighting them. She had to hold me down. I was kicking them because they had to put a catheter in me. But I mean, those hurt, so I kind of understand. But it just wasn't good. And the nurses who like know me because I've only been in there a million times said like it was weird because that's not me. And I just, even in the emergency room, I was just staring at the ceiling lights the whole time and my eyes were rolling back in my head. But like I said, I don't remember anything. All of this information is from my roommate. But the reason I was like so out of it and stuff was not because of being in DKA, because of my high blood sugar, which was in the 800s. It was because I was going into septic shock, which is like where your organs start failing from an infection. And something really like freaky, she said that my temperature was only 88, like not 98, 88. Like I didn't know a living person's temperature could drop that low. And it was so low that they couldn't even get a temperature on me the regular way. They had to do it in a way that I don't want to talk about. But like I said, I don't remember any of it, thank God. But that's just really freaky. So like I said, I don't remember any of this stuff. I finally like snapped back to reality right before they were transferring me out of the emergency room into ICU. And my roommate Nikki, she told me that we had been there for like 4 hours. A nurse walked in, but Nikki had told me that we had been in the emergency room for like 4 hours. She asked me what I remembered, and I said the last thing I remember was you telling me that you were going to work and that I said I was going to try to go back to sleep because I was tired from being up all night throwing up. So it turns out either the infection from the Portacath just never went away and got worse, or I developed a new infection in my gut and it made me really, really sick because it got into my blood again. But I honestly felt like I had been hit by a freaking train. Like, I was in so much pain. My esophagus, for one, was on fire because everything I was throwing up was stomach acid. And my esophagus is already messed up. I already have to get it dilated every few months because it like gets swollen shut and inflamed from throwing up stomach acid all the time. So I couldn't even breathe because of my esophagus hurting so bad. My whole body hurt. It was just, not a good time. And they couldn't give me any pain medicines until I got to ICU because my blood pressure was too low, but my heart rate was too high, and my temperature was too low, and it was not fun. But I finally was able to get some pain medicine once I got to ICU, and it helped a little bit. I was able to sleep for a little bit, but I was not getting good sleep. I was sleeping for like 20-30 minutes at a time, and then I'd be up in pain, almost crying, and that was the cycle for a while. I spent like 4 or 5 days in ICU. Now I got moved to IMCU, which is just like a step below ICU, but it's like it's basically a regular room. Like, I have more privacy. I can go to the bathroom like without having to ask. Like in ICU, if you get up out of the bed, all these alarms go off and stuff, and there's not a bathroom in your room. They put like a bedside toilet, and it's not fun. Like, you're an adult, you don't like being treated like that, but whatever. So I'm in like a regular room, like the bathroom and everything. For the 100th time, I don't remember anything. All of this is from what my roommate told me, and I've never heard of this, but she said that they said in the emergency room that I had like no gas in my blood or something, so they had to give something for that. Like, I don't know what any of that means. I've never heard of it, but it was really bad. So pretty much, if she didn't come home from work at that time and like went out or something and didn't come home, who knows what would have happened. I might not be here today. Like, she literally saved my life. And not only did she do that, which of course I'm so thankful for, but she was with me the whole time without me even knowing who she was. Like, she was giving me water, she was putting socks on me, she had my heating pad, she had my hospital bag. She was by my side more than anyone has ever been. So shout out to you, Nikki. Thank you. It's starting tomorrow. The blood doctor's coming in, and she's going to be giving me bags of iron because she said I'm severely anemic, that like almost to the point where I need a blood transfusion. But we're going to see how much my levels go up after these bags of iron, And they're going to do some more bags of potassium because my potassium's low, but that's every time I come in. And something with my protein level was really low too. So after we get all that fixed and I have those 2 procedures, then I should be able to go home and hopefully not come back for a long time. And of course, I know a lot of y'all have questions on why I haven't had the surgery yet or what's going on with that. And I have answers for y'all, but it's not a short answer. It's a long answer that I'm going to have to do a whole video on, but we're working on it. The problem is there only being one doctor in Houston that does it. And 9 days after I make an appointment with him, he decides he's not going to take my insurance anymore and wants to charge $600 just to be seen for a consultation. So my GI doctor is talking to him tomorrow to see if there's a doctor in another town nearby that takes my insurance to do it. We're gonna figure it out, but I'll do a video on that eventually. You know, if you have any questions on any of this, I know gastroparesis is not a common thing, so I don't expect everyone to know what I'm talking about in these videos. It is okay to ask me, leave a comment, and I will answer your question as best as I can. I mean, I want people to educate themselves on this. I want people to know what I go through and understand it's not easy and it's not fun and it's not something I like to go through. So if you don't understand something, just ask. It won't offend me. So yeah, ask your questions, leave your comments, share, like, whatever. But please keep me in your thoughts and prayers and everyone else with gastroparesis too, because this is not fun.